sir. We found it.
Government agencies have now cordoned off the area and are...
Intense burst of light that came down.
Jane, I think you want to see this.
I want to congratulate you, by the way. I love the movie.
Thank you so much.
One of the best Marvel movies ever.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, what attracted you to making the film?
Well, I loved the character. I mean, I love playing very strong women, and especially the physicality of the role. I was like, oh, I just want to tackle this, you know? And then, of course, there's Kenneth Branagh. And when I got the part, we didn't know Anthony Hopkins was going to play Odin yet. So Ken's like, come into my office, I got a secret. And I was like, what? And he told me, he goes, guess who we're going to get to play Odin? And I was like, who? And I was like, and he goes, Anthony Hopkins, and I lost it. And he goes, shh, don't tell anybody, you're not supposed to know yet. And I was like, don't tell me stuff I'm not supposed to know yet. I have a huge mouth. It was awesome.
Yeah, and Sif, your character, has a great mythology, right?
Yes, yes. She's a Norse goddess, mythology-wise. And I know everybody's like, oh, she was blonde, blah, blah, blah. But in the comic books, when they're young, Loki cuts her hair off because he's mad at her, gives it to, I think it was the trolls or the gnomes, I can't remember which one, but he gets it back and she complains, he puts it back on her hair and it grows out jet black. Wow. So I kind of wanted to, in the movie, make sure that there was a little bit of, I don't like you, Loki, type of thing going on, just to pay homage to the comic books.
Cool. And there's also a relationship between Thor and Sif, right?
Yeah, and we also made sure that we subtly put that in the film, just to show that, like, as he transforms, like, into this better, man, in a sense, that she starts to find that very appealing.
That's the great thing about the movie. There's a lot of nuances.
Right. They're like, you have to look at Chris, adoringly, and I was like, okay, for how long?
That's easy to do.
Fine. Yeah.
When you signed on to star in Thor, was Chris Hemsworth part of?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I believe Chris and Natalie and Tom were already cast by the time I got cast.
How did you prepare for the part?
Well, I studied with a dialect coach to learn the British accent so that we would all match. And then, and so did Chris. We all had the same dialect coach. And then lots of fight training, lots of weightlifting, dropped 20 pounds, kind of unintentionally, but did that. And then, yeah, weapons training, that was fun.
What is the coolest aspect of your character?
Oh, man. I think the fact that she goes toe-to-toe with anybody in the movie. Not just men, not just women, but like otherworldly creatures, Jotuns, the ice giants, that kind of stuff, and it doesn't even faze her. Yeah. She's like, bring it on.
Now, how was it working in the set?
Awesome. The sets were so incredible. Bo Welch is amazing. He designed all of it, and it's, oh, I wish you guys could have seen it. I mean, I'm sure it still exists over at Marvel, but they were incredible, and it wasn't hard to feel like you were in this world because you really kind of were.
I told Kenneth Branagh that I see shades of Fritz Lang in Asgard, right? It's
Did
very
he agree? Yeah.
Yep.
We had a couple stuff, and then obviously in Asgard you'll kind of see, it's funny, we were just in Sydney, and the Sydney Opera House, the shapes of the Sydney Opera House, I was like, wait a second, that looks really familiar. And then he was like, well, they sort of tried to take, I believe, different parts of different cities all around the world and sort of mix it into Asgard.
Were you a fan of Thor growing up, the comic book?
I was a huge Marvel Comics fan. I didn't know the whole story about Thor, but I remember when I heard about it, I was like, I know I read that when I was in middle school, but I wasn't sure. I'm a huge fan of like X-Men, like the X-Force and also Spider-Man, but more so X-Men.
You have that dark edge in you.
You know.
X-Men quality.
Yeah. I like to think that.
Besides Thor, who's your favorite superhero?
Right now, X-23.
Who the heck is X-23?
X-23 is the female clone of Wolverine. Yeah, she's new. Well, her own comic book is newer right now, but she's part of the X-Force. Yeah.
I'm old school. I'm just Wonder Woman.
I do like her too. I feel obliged to say things about Marvel Comics, but yeah, I was a huge fan of Linda Carter playing Wonder Woman too. Oh yeah, no, I love Buffy and Angel.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Anytime. Thank you.
You do not know what your actions would unleash.